Going back home from Greenwich was just a nightmare. Yeah, so it was crazy. I could talk about that maybe today.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
Just complain. That's what people like
I'll
to
just
hear.
complain. Everybody wants to hear me complain.
20 seconds, by the way.
All right, thank you. Here we go.
This is Denise Nostrom, CEO and founder of Diversified Financial Solutions. Now more than ever, investor advice is needed, not just for investors to invest your money, but why? Are you investing for your future retirement? Are you retired and looking to maximize your income? Are you maximizing your income and concerned with leaving money for your loved ones? Are you investing for your retirement at the same time saving for your children's education and at the same time saving to buy another home? Are the markets aligned with your goals? Are your goals ever changing? Please contact me at 631-758-8691. That's 631-758-8691. Or visit us at diversifiedfinancial.biz. For over 25 years, I have been helping individuals, families, and business owners navigate through all market conditions with only one goal in mind: my clients. Visit me at diversifiedfinancial.biz or call Denise Nostrom, founder of Diversified Financial Solutions at 631-758-8691. That's 631-758-8691 for a conversation about my most important client, you.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Friday. I just can't believe it's Friday again. I feel like I was just here and it was a blur, and here I am again. I don't know if anybody else is feeling that, but for some reason these weeks just seem to be flying by, and it's already the 21st of July, which is like ridiculous, but yeah, I can't believe it. But anyway, I do thank you for tuning in today and spending some time with me. And it is a beautiful Friday afternoon, although it's been another one of those days where it was cloudy and then it rained, well then it drizzled, but then it poured, and it's been just, again, the weather this summer has been really, really off as well. So again, Mother Nature is a bit manic, and just like the rest of us, we're all, just trying to keep ahead of the curve. It's been a really weird time. I don't know if anybody feels the same way that I do, but I've been talking to a lot of you, or a lot of my clients, and we all just feel things are a little bit strange. But you are listening to the Financial Chick Show, and I am the Financial Chick. My name is Denise Nostrom, the CEO and owner of Diversified Financial Solutions, a full-service independent financial planning firm located right in Medford. Your Financial Chick is here to help you make better financial decisions and choices to improve your life and reduce your anxiety and stress about money. And my God, don't we need that lately? If you want to know more about me or my firm, you can check out my website at financialchickshow.com. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram at Diversified Financial Solutions. So like the pages to get updates and see what is happening. So last week I had some things ready to, I always try to plan my show. Being a planner, that's what I do. I plan. So, but I had a really nice surprise, because last week a good friend of mine, Joe, had decided to call into the show, and he had some things to talk about. So if you listened to the show last week, we talked a little bit about the Gilgo murders and all of that's going on and still going on, and I'm sure we're going to hear this in the news probably for quite some time, and more stuff keeps coming out, and I'm sure that will continue as well. But moreover, we spoke about the new movie Sound of Freedom with Jim Caviezel, and admittedly, and I'm upfront and honest and transparent, I have not seen it yet. It is on my list. The financial business and life has just kept me super busy, so I'm hoping to get to see it at some point over this weekend, and maybe if I have some energy, maybe tonight. I don't know. I just roll like that. It's just like last minute. But we get to talk a little bit about that, and it kind of was a segue to. I'm also not only a financial advisor, the Financial Chick, but I'm also on the Town of Brookhaven Women's Advisory Services program, and we are doing, and this was really before the movie and everything like that, but we are planning and meeting probably every other week at this point, a seminar or an event at the Town of Brookhaven Town Hall, September 30th, at 8:30 a.m. It's called Make It Stop, Human Trafficking and the Sad Reality and What We Should Know. So it's, for those of you who know, well, now with the movie being out, I think a lot of us know that it is an issue, and it's a real big issue here on Long Island. And hopefully we can give it some exposure, but moreover, try to get some solutions. And I think it's a big situation right now, and hopefully we can make some headway, because it's not a good thing. It's a really terrible thing, and hopefully we can make things a little bit better for all of us, because it's kind of dark and gross, actually. But last week I wanted to talk a little bit about, because not the past Sunday, but the Sunday before that, I'm also the founder and president of Power of Women Exchanging Resources, a nonprofit organization that empowers women. We had our annual brunch at Sunset Harbor. I know I had been talking about it, but we finally had it, and it's kind of past us now. I actually started the nonprofit 11 years ago, so we celebrated our 11th anniversary, and we also celebrated our 6th Woman in Business Award winner, which was Sharon Boyd from Dress for Success, and it was a great day. We had, the place is wonderful, the food is really good, and Andy over at Sunset Harbor does an amazing job. So we had some elected officials there to honor our Woman in Business Award winner. And it was great. It was really good. But I do want to thank a few people that were there. Of course, I want to thank everybody that came out and joined us. It was wonderful. If you go to Power Women Exchanging Resources on Facebook or www.powernewyorkchapter.com, our website, you can see some of the pictures. Hopefully we'll be getting them up soon. But I want to give a huge thank you to Joe Lachavo for being there and playing his his Galaxy electric harp. So it looks like a guitar, but it's a harp. And so while everybody was coming in, registering and buying their raffle tickets and having some mimosas and Bloody Marys, he was giving some musical accompaniment, and it was really, really wonderful. And you can actually also find him at the Gateway Playhouse. The show has ended now, but I actually got an opportunity to go see the Donna Summer show, and he plays in the band there too, so that was really cool. But back to the brunch, a few other people that I do want to thank. We want to thank 2 of our main sponsors. We had EBI Consulting. I want to thank them for their generous sponsorship, as well as, it was 3 sponsors, as well as Fuller Lowenberg and Company CPAs, and also Integrative Healing Wellness. So I want to thank them, because we wouldn't have been able to do what we did without their help and support. And finally, I want to thank the elected officials that are always there for us, for Power of Women Exchanging Resources. And again, for any of the women that are listening out there, listen, we have a lot of contacts. If there's things that you need or information that you need, that's really what Power of Women Exchanging Resources is all about. So we want to thank the elected officials that came, New York State Senator Dean Murray. We want to thank Alice Painter, who was there from Assemblyman Joe DiStefano's office, also legislator Dominic Thorne, and finally, finally Councilman Neil Foley, who was always there to support us. So those are the ones that came in person. One that wasn't able to be there, but gave us a certification for our Women in Business Award winner. I'll get this out. Assemblyman Jarrett Gandolfo. So we want to thank him too, because every year he helps us too and sends that. And I have the honor of actually presenting that to our Women in Business Award winner. So we had a great time, and it was good. I'm not going to lie though, I'm glad it's over. It's a lot to pull it all together. It's a big affair. It's one of our main events of the year. It's our main fundraiser of the year, and that enables us to help with the scholarship program that we give. So we're in 3 school districts, and we give out scholarships to young students that are graduating. And we also help our sister organizations, Dress for Success and Angels of Long Island. So, we're all there to help each other and to help and lift not just women. I mean, we help men too, but of course it's really basically a women's organization. So again, a big thank you to everybody for all that you've done to make that a success. I do totally appreciate it. So let's talk a little bit about, I haven't given an update either because I've had guests and stuff like that. So we've got 473 days until Election Day, which is going to be on November 5th, 2024. And we're at 548 days till Biden's administration presumably will be over. That's on January 20th, 2025. Not looking so good for the big guy. A lot of stuff going on there. And maybe nobody's heads will roll. We'll see what happens, but there's certainly a lot of things that are coming out. A lot of things. I'm not even going to go there, but there's just so much. And it was very interesting. I met with a client yesterday, and we were just talking about different things about the economy and what was happening, the last administration, this administration, and he wasn't a big fan of Trump, and he just said, I don't know, he just really wasn't presidential. So I said to him, well, do you think the current president is presidential? And, well, of course we laughed, and I guess, America, we've got to do better and be better. Hopefully we can get this thing going. So as a financial advisor, though, needless to say, the president doesn't really have a super influential effect on the stock market, although policies that they institute certainly will be will be part and parcel. So, we're going to be running into the commercial break in a few minutes, but we'll talk a little bit about where we've been and where we are this year, as we're in the mid-year already, and we're actually already into the second half of the year, believe it or not. I can't even believe it. But we're going to talk about a few things that are going to be changing and how they may or may not affect you, and what we're going to look at for the next half of the market. So this is your financial chick, Denise Nostrom, the company's Diversified Financial Solutions. I help you look for financial solutions when you feel like there are none. Feel free to contact me at 631-758-8691. Again, we're here to help you. We know life is stressful, and there's a lot of anxiety and stress, especially when it surrounds money and the markets. And, I'm pretty much up on the news, so if you want to chat about that too, we can always do that. I give a little extra as a financial advisor. But stay tuned after the break, and we'll have more.
Got a minute 45.
Okay, thank
in this
you.
Break.
All right, sounds a little break. Get some
year,
water. I think I need water.
Making me look forward to next year, November of next year.
There you go. We need some hope,
My dad keeps saying they're not going to let Biden lose. He's saying they're not going to let Trump win. Like, it's not going to be clean. It's not. I mean, we know this already, but
it hasn't been clean.
No.
And again, a lot of the stuff that's happening, people are just closing their eyes to it, and nothing's going to happen. It's unfortunate. I don't know. I feel like, I don't want to say we lost our country, but we're pretty close anyway.
Yeah, 1 minute. But yeah, I saw a story this morning of some guy, transitioned to a girl, then went back, or was it a girl first? I don't remember. It's really annoying. And even people who give warnings like that, people just tend to ignore and all that. It's like, that frustrates me more than anything.
It's a tough time because I think a lot of people are depressed coming off the pandemic. I think everybody's still fragile, and even in financial, like, people are making decisions but not on good information. They're doing it because it's feelings and not facts. And that's a big problem. You really have to take a step back. We're a knee-jerk environment, and we should, or a society, and we shouldn't be.
It's very influenced on the media we consume, and I didn't know that until a good 2-3 years ago. We got 10 seconds, by the way.
Okay, 10 seconds. Yeah. All right. Welcome back. This is Denise Nostrom, the Financial Chick. My company is in Medford, and you can reach me at 631-758-8691 or visit my website at financialchickshow.com. I'm here to help you on your financial journey. Over the years, things change, and I'm here to help you navigate all those changes. So today we're just kind of, just chilling out, and we're talking about a few different things. We talked about the show last week, and we talked about a little bit about the power brunch that I had, but I want to go into now some things. Like, we're in the midterm, right, of the year. We passed the midpoint, and now we're in the second half of the year, which I can't even believe that I'm saying that, because I don't even know. This year has been a blur. It went so quickly. And like I said, it's been a challenging year. One show I'll explain all the drama that's gone on, and with things. But let's focus on the midterm of the market. So, basically 2023, it was a confusing year for the markets. I mean, we started off, well, 2022 was a very tough year. It was terrible. I mean, literally every quarter that you got a statement in 2022 was worse than the quarter before, with the exception of the year end. So then 2023 started, and we started picking up a little bit, but we really just saw the traction, believe it or not, over the past couple of weeks. So, the market, just like ourselves, we don't like uncertainty. And I think there's been so much uncertainty on so many levels, whether it be on the political arena or in the markets or with companies. And, as much as the media is there to inform, unfortunately, I think they confuse. And what I mean by that is sometimes I'll listen to the market updates in the morning, and I'm hearing it from a different vantage point. I mean, as far as you guys that you're going to your jobs, doing whatever it is that you do. I mean, I'm engaged in this, so sometimes I can read through some of the the BS that's going on, whether it's just filler or real stuff. But what's very interesting is that by the end of the day, sometimes the story changed totally. So whatever they were talking about in the morning, it's different. So that makes it very challenging for you as an investor, because you're making decisions based on things that occurred in the morning, and by the end of the day, that might have changed totally. So so investors basically they brushed off the S&P's 16% or so year-to-date rally through June 30th, presuming that it was just really green shoots, and that we were still in a bear market, and that there was going to be that inevitable correction. And if you listen to a show a couple of weeks ago, I talked about that I had one client that called me up and said, that's it, I can't take it, between the debt ceiling, and sold out of everything. I mean, they didn't take the money, but they took everything that they had in their investments and put it into cash. They lost out on the run up that they had. So I'm sure many of you did the same thing, because you're hearing the market, oh my gosh, the recession, and interest rate increases, and all of these different things, and oh my god, and not for anything, I have a bunch of clients too that are on this kind of like super right side, where they're listening to all of these things, and we're going to go off the dollar, and then you have to buy gold, throw everything into gold. And listen, anything that's super extreme is usually not the way to go. It's just not. Take a look at what your situation is, meet with somebody like myself, and find out what the real story is. Because if you're listening to the media, everything changes on a daily basis, and it's like watching a tennis match, but it's not going back and forth over the net. It's like flying into the stadium and into the fields and into the parking lot. You just can't keep up with it, with the ball. It's constantly moving. But basically, as the second quarter came to an end, obviously we've seen improvements. The macro fundamentals and the sentiment, really, it's improved, but we haven't really seen it with people investing. So we haven't seen a real bullish rally since the second quarter of 2021. And that was at the height of the post-pandemic rally. So since then, people have just been kind of really precarious, and shopping for those CDs and getting really excited about that. And I met with some clients yesterday, and I should put everything into CDs, like it's just easier. Yeah, it's easier, and it's it's clear, like, okay, I'm getting maybe 4% or whatever the case may be. But when you look at what inflation is, at the height of this, it was 10%. So if you're getting 4%, you're losing 6% safely every year. What typically seems to be easy usually is not worth it, and you just have to look at it. I think part of it's education. I think it's very confusing. There's so many different opportunities and options. That's why meeting with me, again, I had 3 meetings yesterday. I had another client that I met with yesterday, and he's coming closer to the retirement scenario, and great saver, putting things away. But I said to him, listen, what is your outlook? And he's like, I'm probably going to retire maybe 7-8 years and this type of thing. And so we're going to start doing some planning so we can track and see where he should take his money. So a lot of people know how to put money away, whether it's in their 401ks or 403bs, or putting into their IRAs or Roth IRAs, or just saving an investment account. But the biggest thing is, now how do you unwind that money to take that money out? So we talked, and I said, listen, you don't have any type of guaranteed income. It's all going to be based on the market. And he's a pretty aggressive guy, so he's like, it's okay. He goes, but it does concern me. I'm a little bit nervous about that. It's something that I'd probably want to do a little bit different, and maybe get something that's more consistent. So I said, I have a solution for that. And he was like, really? So we talked a little bit about it, and it just gave him a little bit. I could just see the comfort in his face. So right now that I was up in Connecticut yesterday, so that's where I met a bunch of the clients, and back to my office. So now what I'm going to do is going to pull together some illustrations for him and show him a way that we can now take a portion of what he's accumulated and now turn it into something that at his age, of when he decides to retire, and his age, he's coordinating it with Social Security, so about 67, and we can guarantee him money on a monthly basis while having not his whole portfolio, but having his portfolio, and then having kind of carving out a piece of it so he can have that security and know that regardless of whatever happens in the market, that he can actually get that guaranteed money. Now, how does that sound to most people? I mean, that gives you that, that you kind of like exhale and you feel happy that there's something that's out there. Because, I mean, listen, you're a teacher, you're a cop, or something like that. Most of us that are working, we're putting money gingerly into our 401ks, but we don't have a pension. So anything that we save, we have to turn that around for income. And with the market variability and the volatility, that could be a pretty scary thing. But know that there's things out there that can take away some of the anxiety and stress, because, hey, that's the biggest thing that we're nervous about, So, obviously now it's a little bit easier to be more constructive now that that it had been in the past year. I mean, 2021 or 2022, there was really no direction. But listen, as I've been telling my clients, we're not out of the woods yet. As far as earnings, they're coming through pretty good. But historically, we, after a tough year, we usually peak at some point, which we could be at the peak, and we may, pull back a little bit, around October, November. So what I'm saying is, look at the returns that we've had this year, especially in the NASDAQ. If you look in technology things, that's where all the action's been: information technology, communication services, consumer discretionary, all up over 40 or, about 40 or 44%. Take some money off the table and now kind of rotate your assets. Look at international. That's something that you don't have in the portfolio. That's something that we're looking at. You were looking at shorter term bonds over the past year or so. Now we can kind of extend those things. So you want to take a look at where you're at and then create silos for yourself for your future. If you're younger, man, this is the best time. Just accumulate, put that money away on a monthly basis, whatever, whether it's an individual retirement account like a Roth IRA or IRA, or even your retirement plan at work. Or if you are on the older spectrum, closer to retirement, listen, really start looking at what you've accumulated and now how you're going to decumulate that money is when you need to start taking that income from. Meet with me, take a look at your goals, look at what things that you want to do, and then we can compartmentalize those things and make you feel better. Listen, I can't help the world, with the politics, and I can't help the world with the friggin' crazy, smoke that's coming down from Canada. But what I can do is I can help you with your financial assets. So give me a call. Again, it's the Financial Chick. And you've been listening to the Financial Chick Show. I'm located in Medford. The number is 631-758-8691. I want to thank you all for listening today. And remember, let's all try to do better and be better. And I'm probably going to have a guest next weekend. So please tune in next week. Have a great weekend. Until next Friday. All right, everyone. Another Friday in the books. Another Friday in the summer in the books. I can't even believe it. Mom is having major problems. My laptop is broken here. It just seems like there's a lot going on. Do you all feel that way too? But anyway, I want to thank you for tuning in, taking some time to listen to my rantings. But have a wonderful weekend, and I'll speak to you all soon. Take care. Bye.